MySQL is an open source product, and there's a community edition that's free. You can download it from www.mysql.com/downloads. Go down toward the bottom of the page and find the label for MySQL Community Edition, and click the link, and then click the link for MySQL Community Server. From there, scroll down a little bit further, and you'll see this link to download the MSI installer. Click that link, and now you're on the page where you can download an installer for the most recent version of MySQL. As of the time of this recording, that's MySQL 5.6. There's only a 32-bit installer here. Use the same version regardless of whether you're using 32 or 64-bit Windows. There are two versions here: a web version, where you have a very small installer package and then everything will be downloaded as it's needed, or a full-size package that has everything you need. I've already downloaded the full-size package to my desktop, and I'll run it from here. It runs as a Windows installer program. After accepting any user account control dialogues that pop up, you'll be taken to a license agreement screen. If you agree to its terms, accept it, and go to the next screen. Here, you can decide what you need. You can either do a very minimal installation by selecting Server Only, or you can choose a full installation, or choose the one at the top, which I like, called Developer Default. This includes MySQL Server, MySQL Workbench, a graphical user interface application that lets you manage your server, and a number of useful connectors for various languages and platforms. After selecting the setup type, I'll click Next, and then I'm asked for a couple of configuration details. You need to provide two directories, an installation directory and a data directory. I'm going to set my installation directory to /MySQL, and then my data directory to /MySQL\data. After pressing the tab, that error indicating that the directory already existed goes away, although you might not have seen that warning on your system if you've never installed MySQL previously. On this screen, you'll see warnings if you don't have any prerequisite technologies for certain of these components. On my system, I'm being warned that I don't have the right components for MySQL for Excel, or the MySQL connector for Python. I'm not using either of those technologies, so I'm going to ignore these warnings and click Next. And when the Confirm dialog pops up, I'll click Yes to say, yeah, this is okay. And now I'm ready for the installation. I'll be installing quite a few components, so it'll take a little bit of time to copy everything to the hard disk. I'll click Execute, and off we go. This installation can take upwards of 4 or 5 minutes. So perhaps pause this video, and when your installation is complete, you can continue. After the files have been copied over to your hard disk and installed, go to the next screen, and you'll see a product configuration information page. There are 2 steps for configuration: configuring the MySQL server and configuring samples and examples. Click Next. On this screen, you're asked what kind of configuration you'll be using and how you want to connect. I recommend accepting all of the defaults on this screen, especially the port number of 3306. That's the standard port number for MySQL. Click Next again. Now you're asked for a MySQL root password. Type a password that you'll remember. Because you're developing on your own local system, it doesn't necessarily have to be a strong password. So I've typed simply password. I type it twice, and I'm ready to continue. If you like, you can also set up additional user accounts at this point, but you'll also be able to do that later. I'll click Next, and now I'm configuring MySQL as a Windows service. You can set the Windows service name to anything you like. I'm going to set it as simply MySQL. And I'll leave the option selected to start the server at System Startup. And I'll also accept the default for the user account I'm running MySQL on, the standard system account. I'll click Next, and now I'm ready to apply the server configuration. I'll click Execute, and after just a few moments, I see a success message. I'll click Finish, and now I'm ready to configure the samples and examples. I'll click Next, and I'm asked here to check my user credentials. I'll click the Check button, and my credentials are accepted, and then I'll click Next and click Execute. And again, it takes just a few moments to complete the configuration. Once I see the success message, I'll click Finish. And then I'll click Next again, and notice that I have an option selected to start MySQL Workbench after setup. I'll leave that checked, and I'll click Finish, and now the installer is done. If you didn't see the option to start MySQL Workbench on your computer, you should be able to start it from the Windows Start menu or Start screen. It immediately opens MySQL Workbench, the graphical interface for managing your MySQL installation. I'll click the button to open a connection to my local instance of MySQL. I'll type the password that I set, and I'll click OK. And if everything works correctly, I should see that I'm now connected. Because MySQL is installed as a Windows service, you can manage it from the Windows Control Panel. I'll go to the Control Panel and type Services. Then I'll click on View Local Services, and then I'll click into the list and type MY, and there's my service. And it's named, as I requested, MySQL. From here, you can stop the service, you can restart it, and you can manage whether it starts up automatically when you start your computer. So those are the steps for installing MySQL as an individual component on Windows. There's one more important thing to know about, and that's how to uninstall it if you want to use another configuration for Apache, MySQL, and PHP on the same computer.